in a quiet corner of the coast.
Honestly, I've never seen clearer water.
Where baits bob.
Do you feel a bite at all?
Boats glide.
We enjoy this view. We enjoy our access to the water here.
Dolphins dance.
Look at it, there it is. Oh, it's so pretty.
And the smell of fresh seafood.
And try all these great restaurants.
Yeah, it's good.
Drifts from 12A buoy.
Yeah, it's kind of our getaway little nook for eating, yeah.
Fisherman's Wharf is old Florida.
Oh yeah, it's really beautiful.
But underneath this treasured land, could something else be lurking?
So what if I told you that all of this land here is contaminated?
Contaminated.
What's the contamination? What's the details? Is this like chemicals? What's going on here?
I had the same questions after reading this letter from the city of Fort Pierce's lawyers, saying the city is under the impression Fisherman's Wharf is contaminated. But with what? From where? And for how long?
Is it diesel? What's it from?
The letter doesn't say, but it's written to the lawyers of Pierce One Marina, the controversial development proposed for this very site, a process that started in 2020. It's been almost 5 years since Fort Pierce issued a request for proposal to develop 3.2 acres of Fisherman's Wharf. In 2021, the City Commission unanimously voted to sell the land, entering into this agreement with developer Chris Shelley for Pierce One Marina. The proposal promised docks, a boardwalk, retail, restaurants, even homes, but it came with pushback.
I got something to fight about down there.
Mike Jenkins owns the land 12A buoy sits on. It's been in his family for decades.
That's my dad when we had the Black Pearl bait and tackle shop.
Back before the iconic restaurant was ever established.
That there is probably, I would say, probably 1970, middle 70s.
Jenkins and at least 250 others signed a petition in 2023 to block the development, fearing they'd lose the wharf's old Florida charm and public access to the Indian River.
And we told them, no way are you going to close our boat ramp down. We don't have enough boat ramps now.
Then everything stopped, but not because of the backlash. In a lawsuit, Shelley's attorneys claim the city sold him land it did not own. Turns out nearly half of it belongs to the state of Florida, not the city of Fort Pierce. In the original deed from 1954, the state agreed to let the city use 1.7 acres of Fisherman's Wharf for just $1, solely for public use. The agreement was clear. The city could never sell, lease, or give the land to a private person, firm, or corporation, or else ownership of the land would revert back to the state.
We did know that there was a reverter clause on the land.
That's Mayor Linda Hudson in a city commission meeting in March of 2023, telling commissioners about the deed restriction. What she did not know is how much it would cost to buy the land from the state.
The only way you find out what that price is and what it's going to be is by saying, here's what is going to happen to this piece of property.
In that same March meeting, the city's attorney, Tanya Early, said she started asking about the cost in 2021.
Miss Early, is that right?
But with no answer, the city sold the land anyway. Emails I uncovered through a public records request show it wasn't until March of 2023 when the state told the city it would cost $1.9 million to lift the deed restriction. That's more than 2 years after the city put the land up for development, and at least a month after the city signed the deal with Chris Shelley.
I'm upset right now because I feel that, this should have been taken care of or known, before we signed into the contract.
Commissioner Arnold Gaines grew frustrated when the commission voted to ask Shelley to cover the $1.9 million deed release. That decision was one of 3 options outlined by the city attorney in this March 16th memo. The city pays, Shelley pays, or walk away.
The city put ourselves in this predicament. So some taxpayer money is going to get paid, in my view, somewhere the other way. Either we're going to say yeah or no. If we say no, we know we're going to face a lawsuit.
Gaines was right. This February, Shelley's attorney filed this complaint, suing the city for $50,000 in damages, alleging breach of contract. It claims after the city decided to revisit the issue with Shelley, the former city manager told him the project had, quote, lost the support of the city commission, and that Pierce One should find a new development site. Last summer, Shelley told me he lost $1 million he invested in the project.
They can either, pay us back the money that we spent, or we're going to have to end up in a courtroom.
But on March 3rd, just weeks after Shelley filed his lawsuit, this letter I obtained through public records shows the city's attorneys told Shelley's attorney the site is likely contaminated. The letter says that's based on testing at adjacent properties and claims it, quote, greatly changes the posture of this case because, quote, the fact that the property is likely contaminated and will need to be remediated essentially eliminates any damages claim of your client.
Were you aware of this letter from FDEP?
No, I'm not. I didn't get one.
Jenkins at 12A Bowie had no idea about possible contamination. Neither did any boaters, fishermen, or customers.
And how long has it been contaminated? If it's something that the state knew about or the county, city knew about long ago, then why wasn't anything done?
If they're having to do all those tests, then they probably should not have people out here. That's insane that they wouldn't make that more known to the public also.
Are you surprised by that? Do you feel like you should have been informed if there's...
Well, I should have been informed about a lot of stuff. I should have been informed my property was having a RFP put out on it too.
I reached out to the city of Fort Pierce for comment. A spokesperson told me the city does not speak about ongoing litigation. This document I obtained shows the city gave the state permission this past February to test the soil and groundwater at Fisherman's Wharf and treat it if needed. But it's unclear if FDEP ever conducted those tests. The document says the suspected source of contamination is next door, part of Fort Pierce that's owned by St. Lucie County. So I called the county. It told me long before this controversy, it bought the port in 2018 and designated the land a brownfield site, a term for land that might have hazardous materials. A county spokesperson told me they didn't suspect any danger, but asked FDEP to test the old citrus packing house land to make sure it was safe. St. Lucie County tells me it's still waiting on final results. I contacted FDEP multiple times by email, phone, and through records requests. I'm still working to get a response. I did find 3 environmental test reports on FDEP's website, dated this January, February, and March. They show contractors tested parts of the port for arsenic and other metals, but found nothing out of the ordinary. Without knowing the results of Fisherman's Wharf, Jenkins is worried about the future.
We don't want to lose a boat, a restaurant, a boat ramp, and especially a boardwalk for people to fish on.
For Jenkins, it's a lose-lose. If the land is contaminated, he may have to pay to clean it up.
So you could be on the hook for this?
If it's on my property.
If the land isn't contaminated, the city's back in court, facing a $50,000 lawsuit.
We'll all pay, and our taxes are through the roof right now.
Paying for a project that may never happen. A project Jenkins.
That's me right there. That's out on Jenkins Road.
Feared would change his view of old Florida in the first place.
Got a lot here, got a lot to fight for. And we are going to fight for it.